Dr. Bizness.
You got peanuts on your mouth. You actually looking more on there.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Excellent.
Who you kissing peanuts to?
This ain't no chapstick
Like LL
commercial.
Cool J. I'm LL Cool J. But I can be.
But that's not the
Why you gonna
same.
kill my dream?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You not LL. You LNL Cool J. There's an N in there. LNL. ENJ.
Put stuff on your lips. Why can't I put stuff on mine? Right?
I've
You still
earned
got
it,
stuff
right?
on your
Right.
lips.
Mine ain't food.
But it's stuff. I ain't gonna put on lip gloss like you. So I gotta
but
put something on it.
No, you don't.
Why not?
Put some
Why
Vaseline and
should
keep
you?
it
To
moving.
keep it soft and supple.
But you got peanuts. Peanuts don't keep your mouth soft and
Well,
supple.
then, wait a minute.
For
Hold
the women that
on.
like peanuts.
Hold on a minute. Peanuts to produce oil.
Exactly.
So I got to tag with him on that one.
But listen, Mattie.
I got to give him that one. Look,
Mattie.
we done gained up on him so much today.
That was leftover food. He done sucked the oil out of We ain't talking about backwash peanut. You needed a fresh peanut. Right now, you done sucked all the juice out of that one.
You better go call George.
We good.
Yeah.
You're welcome to And family, I am the one and only Lady Guns. That means I am greatness under no stipulation. Glad to be here. And we have with us.
I am the one and only, the hostess with the mostest, the mistress of madness. I am the stylist to all stylists. I am the host of Salon After Dark on Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WDRBmedia, the voice of the community. I am Mattie Simone.
Mattie had something to eat. So she is
I feel
good.
better. I feel better now. I feel better.
You know, they say you need to eat a Snicker bar.
That
'cause
nourishment, yes.
I
I was getting hangry for a second, so I'm back.
hangry.
I'm back.
Okay.
No fishnets for me. I'm back.
Right.
That's what I'm
And
talking
next
about.
to Mattie, we have with us.
This is your evangelist with Exposure Radio at 4 o'clock on Sundays, Eastern Standard Time.
You are Kyle.
I'm Kyle Perkins.
There we go. Just making sure. Because they be like, we want to talk to the evangelist. And, you know, all of a sudden everybody got a ministry and want to answer in your steed. So we want to make sure we keep them in line which one.
Okay.
We're so glad to have you here,
Yes,
though.
ma'am.
Thank you
you
for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
We have been a eclectic group of people all day long.
I see that.
So you've been warned. Is all I'm gonna say. Brace yourself, sir. Brace yourself. But we're so glad to have you.
Yes, ma'am.
That is the problem that we have when we look for people that we believe can share their wealth of knowledge and information to the masses. But then when they
Here
get
you
on,
Right.
you go.
You making love to the microphone. Can you just spit it out? So all of a sudden,
So notice his sounds. I'm gonna need y'all to put this in your memory bank.
Okay.
When he drops his voice low and hones in, that's called a soothsayer.
Right.
He's about to do something. It's gonna be a hard left. So strap in, make sure you
Kyle, we're gonna be sitting there looking like, huh? What?
that tone. Listen for that tone. That's the sirens before the bomb.
Right.
pops up.
The eyes swirling.
Why are you squinting at me? You need glasses?
man,
You never understand when it's the truth.
family, we're always here to give you something for your head, something for your heart, and something for your hands to do. Because we're intelligent people, so we want to make sure that we get the right information to you so that you can make the right decisions. But then we also want you to feel and emote and feel passionate about some things. Live a life of purpose and passion. But then you can't do that by sitting around. You got to do something because faith without works is dead. So you have to put your hands to the gospel plow and do what it is that you have been called to do with the gifts and talents that the Lord has given you. Are you trying to say something to me?
Yes.
What you trying to say?
Okay, now it's back on.
Okay. Great job. Are we good now? Can I continue with my soliloquy? Okay.
Don't repeat it though.
Wow, I was gonna start from the top.
No, please. I'm gonna take a quick nap. Just come
I
on.
told you
That's that Barry White voice. Right.
And you had bread, so you already know.
Oh,
Them carbs
Jesus.
drop.
And I told y'all the first time I met him.
Like a quiet little bumblebee.
Tell us about yourself, Kyle.
Evangelist, it's on you. Please take it before you get it back.
Please do.
That's how we're all.
It is completely up to you. It is your world.
Well, I am Kyle Perkins. I'm an evangelist. I'm not a. I mean, I was sent by God. I thank God. I just thank God. Myself, I come from a good family, and throughout them years, my daddy taught me how to build houses. And I don't know. I mean, what exactly do you want to know? How deep do you want me to go about myself? So.
I want you to go
Thank
deep.
you.
I want you to be
Lord.
transparent because
Ooh, yes,
So this is
transparent.
what I'll say, and I'm gonna say this for our listeners. We always have people, not always, but often we invite people on, and they give us the ministry. They give us the good news of the gospel.
Okay.
But when people hear them, it's like they've always been on the mountaintop. They've never had a hill to climb. They are perfect. They're untouchable. They're sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, fire baptized, got Jesus on their side, running for their life. There's no, and their whole life is 80 after the death of Christ. Who was Kyle Perkins, BC?
Okay.
So that people can understand that you're relatable
Your
to the
trans-
circumstances that they're going to.
But your transition.
shaking.
How did you get transformed?
Right. We know, like, how did you come out? What did you come from?
The
That you're
story
willing to share.
behind the glory.
Yeah, the story behind the glory.
15 years of drug addiction.
Not you.
Yes, 15 years.
For those of you, I'm gonna have to commentate. For those,
Because he came over a while ago. He did say, "How raw do you want it?" Right?
no. But this is a thing.
But no, you're
You
right.
don't look like 15 years of drug addiction. For those that are listening, our viewers might be able to see it. But for those that are listening, I understood. You've given me parts of your testimony, but I don't see 15 years. So that is grace that rests upon you now.
What you say, 15 days?
Well, I
What?
think-
15.
No?
15
Like
days.
5 years, 10 years?
5 minutes ago. No.
But I
It's a
think-
15-minute break.
I really do. I'm grateful. It's 15 years of drug addiction. Led me to penitentiary, 5.5 years in the penitentiary.
Don't look
Five
like
and a
that
half years.
either.
And
Wow.
3 weeks after I got into jail, the judge told me I was facing 20 years. And I thank God because in that moment of time, the Lord had an opportunity to convict me and to show me who I was and show me where I was going and show me what I've done, you know. And it's just all centered around drugs and alcohol. I mean, I was putting together some stuff,
Right.
which led me to the penitentiary. And I thank God because 3 weeks after I got in there, the Lord started dealing with me, and my life started changing. It really did, and it didn't change. There's a thing called jailhouse religion.
Right.
We've all heard about jailhouse religion,
Right.
and that's always the concept of people coming out of the penitentiary. Well, when he gets out, it ain't gonna be real. He's gonna put the Bible down when he gets out the gate. But that wasn't my case. It wasn't my case. I really seen the Lord do a work, and everybody saw it. Everybody saw God doing the work while I was in prison. I lived for God while I was in prison for real,
Right.
and I give God glory because I was able to strengthen the people, and the Lord began to give me favor with not just the inmates but also with the guards. And that that's rare. It's rare because typically if I can be real, you got to snitch to get the kind of favor I had. You got to do something. You have to do something for real now.
Right.
And if you do that, then you lose favor with one side. But not my case. God had favor. He had His divine hand over me to where I could have favor with the guard and I could have favor with the inmates at the same time because I was real.
Right.
Because I was real. It didn't change me, Dr. Biz. It didn't change me, bro. I always stayed in the streets. I always stayed to people, and that's just who I am. And I just thank God. After I got out in 2015 and active in a ministry, I was at the top of the totem pole in the ministry. I was sitting in the office riding into Calvary with all the ministers. And, I got married not too long after I got out. That's been an interesting struggle right there.
Okay.
I felt like I had
Wait a
peanuts on my
minute.
mouth.
I love how. All right. I love how his demeanor changed because he was like, I came out top of my ministry and I got married as a, like it was like, let me me take a breath. Right.
Now this is where the yoke comes in.
Right.
There.
Come on now.
Drug addiction, I can have.
But you know what? Though? I like that you did that because a lot of people don't understand and don't know what's behind the scenes. They think that Christian marriages are all beautiful and glorious because we're both in the church and we're both this and we're both that. But I love when a person can say, yes, I'm married. Yes, we're saved. Yes, we're sanctified. Yes, we're filled with the Holy Ghost. But yes, we're still human at the same time. And we have our arguments. We have our issues. We have our ups and downs.
Right.
You know, so I appreciate that. Even if it was just a brand, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to look good.
Absolutely.
You know, we're good at looking good on the outside, but when we get home, you know, and we're just human.
I call it
We're
Facebook
subject to-
fictitious.
That's what we are. We do it in the side of people. Very rare do you have somebody that's going to come and tell you about themselves. You know what I'm saying? And really expose or confess or, you know, just talk to you about who you are.
Right.
And we set people up. We set people up and believe in some glamorous life, and we're just, you know, this is if I just get saved and I'm living for God. And, I mean, I was in the pulpit, y'all, for real, preaching. You would think that, oh my God, the pastor, you know, the evangelist, you know, everything, he got it all together. No, he don't.
Exactly.
No, he doesn't have it all together. He's just like he's like us. He's, well, I mean, us. I incorporated y'all with me. I mean,
Right.
No, but seriously, with
I
us.
have a transparent side. You know, there's a real side to me as a success coach. People, you know, when I'm talking to people, they're always, oh, yes, and that was great, and it was the best thing in the world. They don't understand that the knowledge and wisdom that I've given them, one, it is probably because of the mistakes I made. I just told you the opposite of what I did so that you can be successful. But it's really an example of God's grace in my life because I messed up so much. I mean, like, I messed up so much, I can help people not mess up. Like, I was a professional messer-upper. So now I'm a professional fixer because I just really, you know, with having a relationship and having an ear, you know, being able to minister to somebody's needs, but yet I'm comfortable. And I think a lot of Christians aren't comfortable with transparency. That it's in it, you know, it brings a twinge because maybe they're judgmental. So I can't be honest because you'll judge me. Why would I judge you? Let me tell you how broken I am because I've not yet, you know, obtained.
I think we misunderstood. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say that's one thing that I try my best to do. I know I'm a Christian, but I tell people all day I love God. God loves me, and He also knows that He is still working on me. So I'm still gonna cuss. I do have a drink from time to time. I'm gonna walk on the left instead of the right from time to time. It's okay. I know it's okay. But it's the thing. But it's also the fact that it's not like you were saying earlier. Though it's not something I wake up every morning thinking I'm going to do.
Right.
If I do it, I do. God, please forgive me. Help me to not do it again. But I'm honest about it. Like I'm gonna be real about it and let you know. Yes, God still, even in my mess, He still loves me and He still sees the potential in me because, like you were saying, everybody tries to project one thing. Well, my thing is, I tell people, man, I'm gonna burp in your face. I'm gonna be rude and crash because that's just who I am. I won't walk around barefoot in some country, but that's me. I'm not gonna dress it up and pretend to be nothing. I got shoes on today.
Oh, okay.
Dressed up.
But I'm not gonna pretend to be something that I'm not because we are all walking around. It's always selling an image. We gotta sell a image in everything we do, whether it is Christianity, whether it is doing hair, whether it is success coach. Because people look at me and say, well, you're on stage doing comedy. You're confident as all get out. Child, but I am a nervous wreck before I walk out on stage every time.
Absolutely.
I wake up every morning and ask God, make me great today, please, God. Like, I have to say those things because I may look confident. Yeah, sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. We all have those. So I appreciate you telling your story. Like, I love it. That's a ministry in itself.
I was thinking, we don't understand the freedom and transparency.
Uh-huh.
We believe that if I tell you about myself, that he's going to utilize or she's going to utilize it into bondage, but really it sets us free because you're in bondage because you can't tell nobody.
Come on.
That's right.
And there's freedom in it. I've learned that personally.
That's true.
And but you have to take the thing about it is it costs you. Because you have to, it can cost you. You can, you know, you just got to be careful who you tell too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Look, I've told the wrong people for real. Certain things. I mean, I've sat down before people that I looked up to in confidentiality, and the same things that I've said in confidence have turned around.
And you said,
It's that next sermon.
Assassinated
Not
from the
even
pulpit.
about
Oh my
you.
God. Yeah, for real. And you got to be careful who you tell. So you know, it's throughout experience and course of time. But we got to have somebody to talk to.
Absolutely.
And now, to me, I just thank God for transparency because I can get free. I had to sit down with a man yesterday and say some things to him because personally he came at me. about some things. I mean, truth of the matter is that marriage, he came at me. He came in my house. And, you know, bitterness got in my heart, bro. For
It's
real.
real because you're still a
Yeah.
human being.
Come on.
And, you know, and that led to the end result, which I'm not even going to say on air, but
Right,
for
right.
real. And the Lord said, now you're going to go talk, you're going to go confess it to him. And weeping and brokenness, I had to sit before this man and say, look, bro, this is where I was at with you, man. And he
Right.
was a bishop. He was a bishop. You know, and
That's something.
to God be the glory.
I think one of the best examples, although crazy, is completely relatable. Eminem in the movie 8 Mile. When he got to do his rap battle, he took away the ammunition.
Yeah, there you go.
He
Yeah.
was like, I live in a
About
trailer
himself.
park, like
Right.
everything someone would use
Thank you,
against
God.
him,
I put it out there.
That's powerful.
made it plain.
So what you gonna do to hurt me?
And he had
No more power.
nothing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly right.
You take away, right? You take away that. Now that you're transparent, and I love transparency because although it gives you freedom, it also creates accountability as well as understanding. Now I was abused, so now you understand why I don't want to be near, or why I'm standoffish, or why it explains that you being a drug addict. Now I know why you don't have any Benadryl or NyQuil with you every time I see you, and you ain't got nothing. No, I don't. It brings about explanation and understanding, clarity, but now it holds me accountable. Because I've told you who I was, but I'm also trying to show you the new light that I'm living in, which means I have now got to step up and make sure that I show you that I've changed. And it's not just for you, but I don't want my witness to convict you into a state where you've now lost hope in the church or Christians,
right.
or,
Exactly right.
as they label us to justify their wrongdoing.
Right.
We don't carry a title
Yeah, you're exactly right.
until they find out that we believe, we have a belief in God and we're living a Christ. Like now, all of a sudden I have a label. Before I was just guns or that girl, a homegirl over there, or you know who I'm talking about. But now all of a sudden, that sanctified girl. Like,
Yeah.
And it amazes me how people use it to try to tear you down.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
she Christian, so she don't.
Exactly.
Hey, how do you know what I do and what I don't do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we used to get that growing up. I never forget when we were in school. We were always called the Christian clique. Me and my cousins and my friends, because when the doors were open, we were there.
Right.
Because all our mothers were in the choir. Ushers, our grandparents were trustees, deaconess, Urshas, yes, Urshas, and then also the custodians of the church. So we had to clean the church. We had to prep it for service on Sunday. So I knew what the white and the purple and the red and all the different sashes mean. So when we were in school, I remember one time I was sitting in class and I got mad at something and I said a cuss word and they were like, "You the Christian one, you can't do that." What's that got to do with me being human? What's that got to do with me? But then it also created a conflict in me, because then it was like, how am I supposed to feel? Because I had this conversation yesterday with my cousin. My mom passed away. And it's like, as a Christian, I'm supposed to be happy because I know she's in heaven.
That's her
I know she
homegoing.
received her
crown,
mansion and all these things. But at the same time, God, I'm hurt. I love you,
exactly
but I'm
right.
angry because you took my best friend. But I'm a Christian, so I'm not supposed to be mad. I'm not supposed to be sad. I'm not supposed to feel these things. And I appreciate when you have evangelists, pastors, people in the church that come back and will tell you openly, I suffer these same things. Because like you said, a lot of times we put them on pedestals. We put them up here, especially when they get like bishop titles and elder titles and all these titles.
Superintendent, Reverend Doctor.
Right. They're above sin. They don't have these issues. But then you go and see them and they study and they taking a nip, or they in they study and they crying because they don't know what they're going to preach. It helps to bring them back down to reality and you back to reality, so that you're not worshiping them, but you're worshiping the God through them and seeing it. Because a lot of times we see them and we forget, well, Dr. Bizness, Deacon Pastor Baptist, Bishop Bizness gave a wonderful sermon on Sunday.
You got all kinds of names.
Right.
However, if you sit down and listen, he pulled that right out of his butt. That had nothing to do with James that was read in the lectionary text today. You know what I'm saying? But we don't see those things. Because we're taught that's the pastor you respect, you love, you cherish, you
Don't
go
question,
right.
don't ask, just listen and
Yes.
follow.
And so to hear you tell your story and hear you talk, and then to listen to all of us, come together and have this conversation, I love it, because this is truly what it means when it said whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in his midst. That's what this is. That's what that means. It don't mean when you got 3 holy rollies that don't never spit, don't never sin, don't never cuss. It's the 3 people that truly sit down and say, God, I'm tired. God, I'm upset. God, I'm weary. God, I'm worn. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you. Because even in his word, they say don't question him. No, you have to question him, because how do you get understanding if you don't? God, I don't understand why my bills come more than my paycheck comes. But I know for some reason my lights never get cut off. You have to be able to do that.
Right.
At the end of the day, even the 12 disciples, they weren't holy rollers. They had issues. They had problems. Anger management issues. Whoremongers. The whole 9. So even those closest to Jesus weren't spick and span clean. So we have to recognize and understand that, as the Bible says, we're all yet being saved.
Yeah, that's right.
So it is a process that all of us have to go through in order to reach our destined end. And as you said, Mattie, is getting up that morning and say, cause me to be the best version of myself today. Help me be better today than I was yesterday.
That's true.
And if we keep taking those forward momentum steps, then eventually we'll get to where it is that God would have us to be. We're going to take a break and come back. Family, you're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media,
the voice of the community.
We said that all holy and so reverent.
We were all